Welcome back. All right, I know I said I would talk about multi-dimensional arrays in this video, but I think I'm going to discuss why you would use an array. What's the value of an array? Why not just make a bunch of independent variables? Well, let's figure that out here real quick. Now, let's say you had a game board in a video game. So you're making a video game, it's two-dimensional, and it's kind of a top-down game, and it's kind of on a grid level. So you have, monsters all over the grid, and then you have your player. And you don't want your player to be in the same location as the monsters. You don't want them to be able to stand on top of each other. So one way you could prevent that from happening is to use an array. So let's go ahead and build a program that would do kind of a check on this. So we'll go monster location. So this is going to be an array, and the name of the array is going to be monster location, and it's going to be an int array. And let's just say we've got 4 monsters currently on the board. So one of the monsters will be at location pixels 20, 30, 40, and we'll say 50. Oops, forgot new, keyword new. There we go. All right, so this is how many monsters we have on the board, and this is their locations. Now, of course, you would need to check the X and the Y axis. We're just going to check, you'll just say one of the axes for this demonstration, so you can kind of get the idea of what we're doing. So we got an array called monster location, and we've got basically four monsters, and those monsters are at these locations. So let's build a for loop. We'll go for, and I'll go over a for loop again after I type this out, just in case you don't remember exactly what all this means inside the for loop. So we'll go int I, and we'll say I is less than b and 4 because there's 4. Okay, and then plus. All right, so I'll just go over the for loop really quick. What this is saying, this for loop, is we want to loop through a set of code, this set of code, whatever is going to be in between these two curly bracers. We set a variable to 0. We want to loop it until that variable reaches basically 3. So we want to stop before it gets to 4. And we want to increase it by 1. Now, all we want to do is, this is just going to be a counter. So go player location equals, and we'll say player location equals 40. And go int collision count. Set that equal to 0. So what we'll do is we'll go inside the for, we'll go if player location equals monster location, and we will go I. Collision count plus plus. All right. Forgot that. We're asking, not telling. Excuse me. All right, so we're going to run through this loop 4 times. Every time we run through, the variable I is going to increase by 1. And we have this if statement, player location, which is basically our player's location, and then monster location, which is this array, monsters we have on the board, the monsters we're checking the location. So I, which is the same as this I, is going to increase by 1 each time we run through this loop. So it's going to check monster location 0, monster location 1, monster location 2, and monster location 3. So it's going to run through it 4 times. I messed that up. And if at any time player location is equal to monster location, it's going to keep track of it in this collision count, which currently is 0. So if we have 1 collision or 2 collisions or 3 collisions, whatever it may be, it's going to tell us that. Now in this kind of very simple program, we're only going to have 1 collision, but I like to just keep track of the number. You know, I mean, larger programs, and you might want, you might want code to do something a little different. This would be reusable if we kept track of it in this fashion. All right, so we've got our counters, and now let's do this. We're going to leave the for loop. After the for loop, we're going to go if collision count collision count is greater than 0. Can't move there. So instead of building the graphics and saying and actually, you know, moving the character there, we're just going to say you can't move there if there is a monster there, or we'll go else player moves 1 square. All right, so let's run this program. Can't move there. So we know there was a collision. So where was the collision? Well, player location is equal to monster location element 2. So let's say that there wasn't a monster there and he was over at location 60. So we'll go ahead and run the program. Oh, player moves 1 square. So you can see that the array is very useful because you couldn't do this with standalone variables. Well, you could, but it would be an astronomical amount of code for the little results you would get out of it. So hopefully this helps you understand the usefulness of arrays, you know, where you would want to use one. Of course, there's many other places you'd want to use one. This is just an example. All right. Thank you for watching.